So today I want to dig a little deeper into why the stress and overwhelm of the pandemic is really blocking creativity and how you can try to open that creativity back up. I think, when the pandemic first really hit in the beginning of March, there was this sense of shock and numbness that came from our lives turning on their heads extremely drastically. There's also and still is extreme anger about being forced to stay home, not being able to see your loved ones, and also panic and fear about who might who might fall ill, how we're going to survive, what's going to happen, when will it end. And these emotions, these responses in your nervous system, which are known as fight, flight, or freeze, are really stopping our ability to function. But there are also healthy reactions. So, if you think of the example of in the wild, when you encounter a bear, the basic idea is that you either go into fight mode where you tackle the bear, you fight the bear, flight where you run away from the bear, or freeze where you play dead. And how this translates into our daily life is, an intense, all-consuming anger that makes us not able to really function, panic and anxiety. And then the frozen part would translate to kind of a numbness or a shutting down, wanting to binge watch Netflix and, not get out of bed, and this sort of really sense that you're frozen because it's too scary to get up. So, what's interesting is that these are healthy responses, and of course, they're healthy in moderation. And I think the key is, if you're trying to write, is to cycle through these responses, right? So sometimes when I'm extremely angry, or I'm afraid of missing a deadline, or and I'm just afraid that the piece is not going to be any good, I can kind of work through those feelings, and I can sometimes even channel that adrenaline into writing and into sitting down and sort of getting my feelings and my energies out. But when the stakes are this high, when it really is, life or death, and it's not just sort of a perceived feeling of, am I going to fail or am I going to succeed? It's so much harder. And so I just want to bring attention to this idea of fight, flight, or freeze, and how being aware of which mode you're in, and maybe you're bouncing through all three, will help you cycle through them. And we can talk about ways in which, I'll share how I get back to writing when I'm angry, how I get back to writing when I'm really feeling anxious and scared, and then how I get back to writing when I'm really just feeling shut down. But for now, I just want to say, think about which of those modes you might be in, and know that it's okay to not be able to get out of them right away, because this is an unusual time, and part of what makes it unusual is that we are cycling through these very real threats and our nervous system responses to them very often, sometimes multiple times a day. So I'll leave it at that, and tomorrow we'll talk more about breaking down each of those states.